Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everyone. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Bruh, what happened? Oh, there I am. I'm like, what happened? Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Keller Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage. I'm trying a new setup here a little bit, and that just didn't. So I was making some changes. Anyway, let's move on because I do have a few things for you. We have got the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who's going to be meeting within hours with Ghislaine Maxwell. So I don't know that there's a lot here other than the fact that the two of them are planning to meet. Blanche has served as President Trump's personal lawyer. So the two of them will talk, and then she will testify before James Comer's committee in the House of Representatives on August 11th. August 11th is when she'll testify. I don't think there's anything new here other than, so there'll be meeting coming up. DOJ in 2022 expressed doubts that Maxwell could be truthful, accusing her in court papers of a significant pattern of dishonest conduct. So anyway, they will be meeting today. And again, August 11th is when she'll testify before James Comer's committee in the House of Representatives. Let's see what else I've got for you here this morning. Oh, I am just a train wreck, man. You know, some mornings are like that. The things on air went real well this morning. Down here, this is an altogether different beast. Okay, Miranda Devine had a piece that caught my eye. I'm a fan of Miranda Devine's. Those of you who listen to Clay and Buck Show, you hear her occasionally on their program as well. So she got a piece out saying the country deserves better than the Dems cracked out clown car and the elite media ignoring Tulsi Gabbard's bombshell. The New York Times and the Washington Post all but ignored Tulsi Gabbard's bombshell press conference yesterday, in which she announced she had sent criminal referrals to the DOJ and FBI. This, I think, is just another case of incredible media malpractice. You know, let's see if this works. No, it doesn't work. Let's try that. There we go. Incredible media malpractice where they just, are not reporting on things. So they didn't bring attention to it at all. And so Devine writes, no wonder the best of the Democrats have switched to the Trump GOP. Authentic, principled leaders who might once have rescued Democrats from the abyss, like Tulsi Gabbard, Bobby Kennedy Jr., now serve in the Trump cabinet. And countless unnamed voters have switched allegiance. Only the very wealthy protected class, she writes, and the controlled underclass, that'd be you and me, remain with a smattering of grifters, so on. So no wonder the party is a shambles, constipated, leaderless, confused, a cracked out clown car. Yeah, those are the words of James Carville. So James Carville is saying, I saw this the other day and I didn't share it with you, but constipated, leaderless, confused, divided, he wrote. It is. And I think it'll get worse. I think the Democrat Party I think there are not rosy days ahead for the Democrat Party. You do not have people in the Democrat Party who are reaching out and pulling other people out of the muck. It's incredible. So anyway, very interesting point that Miranda Devine making. And then she gets into White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt introducing Gabbard yesterday, crisply summarizing the declassified evidence, pointing the finger squarely at Obama, John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, the usual suspects. We've been talking about them for years. All those who conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory. She said in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor. The new evidence released by Gabbard confirms the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used against President Trump in an effort to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. And she goes on. You can find this at the New York Post. Again, the piece is by Miranda Devine. There she is. I really, really appreciate her point of view and the things that she brings out. She's got an incredibly unique perspective to a lot of these issues. I saw a piece yesterday, and there wasn't a lot to it, regarding President Trump, that they actually, Donald Trump was getting briefings, as we see when you're transitioning from one president to another. The incoming president, prior to actually assuming the office, is receiving briefings. They didn't tell Trump anything about any of it. So they're still up to this. They're still working on this. They're doing this, and none of it was included in Trump's briefings. There's some serious stuff here that Tulsi Gabbard is bringing out. And whether or not we need to look into it. And again, I don't think anybody's going to jail. I really don't. I don't think anybody's going to jail. I know that's been the discussion, but for me, it's a matter of principle. Do you look into this, regardless of whether or not people are going to jail? Do you still bring out the truth? Do you have a commitment to truth, letting people know? I know some have a tough time with this and like, nobody's ever going to jail. Yeah, but should prosecutors ask them, so when they believe that somebody has committed a crime, if we wind up at that point, if you have prosecutors who believe that crimes have been committed, whether or not they're successful in prosecuting it, do you take it forward anyway? Because if you don't, you're just going to have people who just less trust in the system. Nothing ever happens. Nobody ever does anything. No good comes, nothing will ever comes of any of this. And we don't see it. At least you've got to pursue it. I don't believe for a moment that anybody's going to jail. But if you've got evidence and you make a case, you got to make the case. I think you've got to make the case. You got to make the effort. You got to give the American public a chance to be able to, will enough people hold on to that and see it and be able to. In Washington, D.C., I really don't think you're going to find a Washington, D.C. jury that is going to want to rip the covers off the deep state, but I think you've got to try. I just don't know how you can avoid it. Also, the DOJ is assembling a strike force to access the evidence that Tulsi Gabbard had released. So they're looking into it. The Department of Justice last night announced the formation of a strike force to investigate potential legal steps from the records that Tulsi Gabbard declassified. And they say they're taking this with the utmost seriousness. One source familiar with the strike force told Fox that everything is being reviewed. No serious lead is off the table. It's exactly. You're starting an investigation. Okay, we're taking a look at it. We're being very serious about it. That at least is a beginning. So they began that process yesterday afternoon. Okay, also I saw this the other day about the White House, the president saying The View could be canceled next. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Coughing's been bad this morning. The View could be canceled next following Joy Behar's anti-Trump tirade. Now forget about the ridiculous things that Joy Behar says. The president suggesting that The View, now he's responding to The View in the wake of what we saw happen to Stephen Colbert, right? And that The View could be next. And so a White House spokesperson saying Joy Behar is an irrelevant loser suffering from a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. No surprise that The View's ratings hit an all-time low last year. She should self-reflect on her own jealousy of President Trump's historic popularity before her show is the next to be pulled off air. I think the Trump administration's making a mistake when they start. I mean, unless they're out there saying just something incredibly egregious, that you've got to respond to, because that happens. I can understand they go on The View, they say something absolutely nuts, and you go, oh, no, wait a minute, we've got to respond to this. So, but you've got the Trump administration wondering if The View is going to be next in the wake of what we saw happen earlier this week with Stephen Colbert. And then I did want to share this from the president's True Social account. He said, everyone is stating that I will destroy Elon's companies by taking away some, if not all, of the large-scale subsidies that he receives from the U.S. government. This is not so. I want Elon and all businesses within our country to thrive. In fact, thrive like never before. The better they do, the better the USA does. And that's good for all of us. We're setting records every day, and I want to keep it that way, the president says. So he has no intention, he's saying on True Social, of shutting down any of Elon Musk's companies. I guess maybe that was been up in the air with some folks in the midst of the rifts and the fallout between the president and Elon Musk. All right, now, if you would hit the like button for me before you leave, very much appreciated. I appreciate your comments throughout. And I love getting your comments. You can drop me an email, of course, anytime. My email address is in the corner of the screen. And we'll leave it there today. You made it to the end of the video, so you are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade, those who are here each and every day, commenting, keeping the conversation going, which I very, very much appreciate it. So until tomorrow, my friends, I'm underground and gone.